Oh, I'm a bit early, 3 minutes early today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live here on the Altenew Facebook and YouTube channel. Hi, Damali. Hi, Renee. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for some fun inspiration on this lovely Monday. I hope you've had a wonderful day or are having a wonderful day. I'm here in Belgium, so it's the evening. It's 9:30 or nearly 9:30 p.m. So it's the end of a nice warm day. I don't know how the weather is where you are, but we've been having like a heat wave. So we've had like warm weather all summer. And we're praying for a little bit of rain. So, hi, Sue. So good to see you. I'm so happy to be here again on this live. Hi, Melanie from Germany, which is just around the corner from here. Hi, Nancy. Sunny in San Francisco as well. That's great. And hi, Roxy. Very hot as well where you are, Sue. Well, today wasn't too hot. I think the warmer weather is going to be like more for Wednesday and Thursday. We had a nice breeze today, but it's just really dry. So my grass is just scorched. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Nancy. And then we've got Altenew popping in, who's going to help us along with the products I'm going to be using. So for today, as you know, we're going to be crafting with me today on this lovely evening or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm going to be using a product which I haven't used before. And so as my usual self, I thought I'd just use it on one of my live sessions. So this is what I usually do on Facebook. So today I'm going to be using the metallic brushed gold, which you can see here. So this is our newer metallic cardstock. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, don't forget to share while you're on here because we will pick a lucky winner at the end of the show. Ria says it's quite warm here in Alberta, Canada too, but not too hot today. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with really warm weather. I grew up in South Africa, so I'm used to it. It's just I'm a bit sad for my garden because my grass is all my grass is yellow and my plants are starting to suffer. So this is the lovely paper we're going to be using. Now Altenew did have gold cardstock before, but this is really lovely brushed cardstock. It's got this lovely gold finish. It's really hard to see on the screen, but you can really see kind of this brushed finish, which will give you that really nice gold look. And you can use it in many different ways on your project. I'm going to be using it as backgrounds today. What does Sue say? Very steamy hot, oh dear, in New Jersey. But you got your Altenew order. That makes everything okay. Melly, in Italy is super hot. We went to Italy on holiday, but we were in the mountains, so it was okay. But I know it's really, really warm and that they're suffering from water shortages. So I think we just have to pray for a little bit of rain to come along. So I'm going to pop you down and we can start working with this lovely, lovely paper, which we've got today. Before I pop you down, I'll just show you a couple of products I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using the Waffled Diamonds embossing folder. It's quite hard to see, but you can see the effect here at the top. But it's a really fun one to use on backgrounds. I've also just got some white cardstock, which I pulled out. So, of course, I've got my lovely gold paper. I've also got some watercolor paper and some watercolor brush markers, which you can see over here. I just pulled out a couple. I've got Crimson, Autumn Blaze, Cotton Candy, Ruby Red, and Warm Sunshine. So kind of reddy yellowish tones. There we go. I've also got the Just Leaves set here, which is always on one of my little tables because when I'm creating a layout, I always add a leaf or something like that. So this with my butterflies is my go-to die. I also have the Crafted Flower African Daisy here. I just pulled out a flower which I could layer. I've also got some colored cardstock in 3 tones just for my little daisy over there. And then I also got some pattern paper, but silly me, I forgot the name of this pattern paper. So it's one of our 6x6 paper packs. And oh God, I forgot the name. So I don't know if Angel can kind of find out which one it is. So it's a lovely paper pack, 6x6 paper pack from Altenew. They're all lovely. I pulled this one out because it's got this lovely floral, which I'm going to cut out and put on one of my cards. So there we go. But here we go again, me forgetting the names of products. Oh, let's just keep going. How many years am I with Altenew now? 7 years, and I still can't remember products. There we go. So I'm going to pop you down. It's going to take a little while because I don't know why when I'm on Restream, when I change cameras, it kind of distorts the image. So I have to open another program and then pop back in. So it's going to take a little while. I'm just going to go like this. And then you should be able to see my screen, but everything is not elongated. But if I open this now, and then I do this, it should be okay. There we go. That's better. So here you can see the brushed gold paper. So I'm going to start with that. I don't know why everything is really dark. Okay. It should go. So this is our paper. So we're going to start working with that. I'm going to cut this down to a card size. There we go. I'm just going to take my little trimmer here. So let's just do this. So 4 1/4, 5 1/2. And it's a really pretty paper. And it's a pity you can't see it on the screen, but these kind of metallic papers are hard to see. So it's giving a kind of a greeny yellowish tone on my screen, but actually it's a really warm gold. And it's like if it's been like washed. So it's got this really kind of gold effect on it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that through my Altenew waffled diamonds 3D die. So let's go. Thank you for sharing, everyone. It does. It's a lot better in real life than on screen. So I'm just going to think, how am I going to do it? I'm going to pop it like that. Yeah, it should go like that. So here, because my paper is smaller than my embossing folder, I'm just having a look where my diamonds are, and I kind of want the middle, this diamond here, or these diamonds, this line of diamonds, to be really in that middle section. So I'm just going to line up my card kind of in the center of my of my embossing folder, sorry, middle of the day. There we go. So you can kind of see where those diamonds are. And then all I have to do is come here, little cart with my machine on it. It's a lot bigger, so you won't be able to see everything on the screen. So here I just need one plate. Oh, hi, Joanne. Hi, Joanne. I'm so happy to be here. It's been a really long time. Things have been a bit hard here. So there we go. So I'm just going to push this through. Ooh, I'm excited. First time using the paper. So I got it a couple of months ago, and then just things got in the way. There we go. So here you can see it has gone through the machine, and look how pretty that looks. Oh God, it's so pretty. Just look at all that dimension and goldy goodness. Oh Sue, I'm on vacation, so I'm a teacher, and I start back on, well, officially, I mean, we have our first meeting on the 29th in the morning, and then I start in the afternoon. But I'm going back next week already, so meetings and stuff like that. But this week I'm still on kind of my summer vacation routine. So there you can see how pretty that is. So pretty. You could just pop a sentiment on it and that will be it. But we're going to change it up a bit. So I've got some watercolor paper and I'm doing this first because we do need it to dry before I can cut it out. So I'll do the second card while we wait for this to dry. So let's get started. So I've got, and I forgot my water. Yeah, okay, I've got enough water in here. It should be okay. So first things first, where's my spray? So I'm just going to spray some water onto my watercolor paper. Just put that. Just going to move this to one side. Let's go. There we go. I just want it to be a little bit wet. I'll just spray some on the other side as well. That way it will flatten out. Ooh. There was already some watercolor on my paper. Let's just stick that down. So I'm just going to go in with all my different colors here. I've got some of that red. This is the ruby red, crimson. It's kind of a bit more of an orangey tone. Let's just spray some more water on there. Whoops. Let's go in with a bit of a lighter shade here. So this is Cotton Candy. So just going around all the edges here. Ooh, pretty colors. So when you're working with these watercolor brush markers, you just press on here if you want more color to come out. There we go. I want a little bit of yellow in there as well. Let's go. There in the middle. Ooh. I'm just going to take, this is one of Altenew's water brushes. Let's just get some water in there. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of pull the colors together a little bit. So there we go. So I wanted to add some fun, bright colors to it. And I thought these would work really well with the gold. So I'm going to use this and cut my leaves out of this kind of watercolor paper once it's dry. It will be fun just to change up the colors a bit. So I'm just going to add a bit more of that yellow in here. So this is a really easy watercolor technique. I mean, you just slap some color on there, just water and color, and you just let the watercolor do its thing. So as you can see, I'm just working with the brush on there as well, just pulling the colors together. And they will mix a bit, but that's okay. It won't go back up into your watercolor brush. So that's not really an issue. There we go. Let's see. There we go. I'm just going to let this dry now. I'm going to put this to one side. Maybe just mix this a bit in. So it might look a bit messy now, but once this has dried, quite often things dry differently as well. I'm so happy you were able to catch a live. And you can do this with any of our watercolor brush markers, or if you don't have the watercolor brush markers, just go ahead and use your watercolors. I mean, grab a couple of colors, prepare them, and then you can just mix them together. So I'm just going to leave this to dry. So I've got a simple technique. I just pop this on my little shelf here on the top, and I've got my lamps underneath. So they will help that dry really, really quickly. So I'm just going to dry off my mat. There we go. So that's done. We can start working on our card while that is drying. So for our first panel, I'm going to show you, you don't need a lot of things to create a pretty project. So what I love about this pattern paper, I'm just going to scroll a bit up and see if they were able to find which paper it was. Oh, if you go into the Altenew store and you just look up the 6x6 paper packs, you'll find this one. It's got some really fun papers, and you've got the designs like several times. So you've got this nice design with this kind of floral element with a label in the middle, and then on the back you've got this kind of ochre gold diagonal stripe, which is wonderful. And you will see this design coming back throughout the papers. Another flower bunch, African style bonnie. Oh yeah, it's called African daisy. The daisy I'm going to be using a bit later. I'm not going to do an African style moment. So there we go. Another little flower here. You can see that nice kind of purple stripe. Another stripe. This time it's vertical or horizontal, whatever way you hold it. And it's this nice like fuchsia color. And as you can see, more little flowers like this. And then here you've got a polka dot. That's more of the polka dot. So you can see, I think you get the 4 papers, and they're double-sided. And then you've got this lovely floral kind of watercolor painted rose. You've also got it in purple. And then you've got some more kind of watercolor designs on the other side. And then this, that's from another paper pack. So lots of different florals to choose from, but I'm going to use this one just because I really liked the one. The fuchsia soiree. Thank you. That's it. It's the fuchsia soiree. So first things first, we're going to cut that out. That's what I love about these paper packs, is that you can easily just grab a paper, and then we're going to do a little bit of easy fussy cutting. So I'm just going to quickly cut this floral image out. And I did buy myself some smaller scissors, but those of you who have been on some of my lives or to some of my classes, I think you will know by now that I do like my big scissors. So I have been practicing with the small ones, but I'm not quite as fast with the small ones as with my large ones. So for today, I'm just going to go back to my large scissors. Hi, Teresa. And while I'm cutting this out, I'll have a little bit of time to read your comments. There we go. And just see if you've got anything to ask me. If you're a bit curious, go ahead, because I'm going to be cutting this out. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. I'm already 1/3 of the way, so give me 2 minutes. There we go. I was wondering if any of you have been on a summer vacation. Where did you go? So as I said, I went to Italy. We went to the Dolomite region, which is like mountains. And we stayed in a hotel, but in a natural reserve. So normally you can't drive with your car in that area between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. You could, if you were going to your hotel and you had a special paper and it was the day of arrival or the day you were leaving, but other than that. So it was really calm and peaceful, and we hiked. I think we went everywhere. We were there 10 days. We hiked every day. think we walked every day between 14 kilometers and 25 was the most we did. There we go. Oh, Roxy, I'm sure they're having a fabulous time. Probably very hot because Europe is having like a kind of a heat wave at the moment. And I'm up here in Belgium, so it's warm for Belgium, but it's still okay compared to other regions, other countries. There we go. Look, we're already halfway there. I should have probably done this in advance. There we go. I could have done this in advance because today I decided to watch only murderers in the building. So I could have done it in front of my little series. We're nearly there. I'll just chat. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. Or maybe you could tell me, what is your latest favorite product from Altenew? So I've started crafting again really slowly. I have been doing little bits and bobs over there, but my creative juices are slowly coming back. It was a bit difficult after my dad's passing, so it was all a bit sudden. So it kind of... crafting wasn't my priority. Yes, I'm doing old school and fussy cutting with big scissors. It's still something I love to do, and I've been crafting for so long. I remember cutting things with my X-Acto knife and making kind of intricate things, and then we had all the electronic cutters that came along and die cut machines, and they are great, but I still remember cutting out flowers. I mean, stamped flowers before we had the dies. So I think my scissors are still my most used tool. See, we're nearly there. Oof. There we go. So 3D embossing folders. Oh, those are beautiful. Oh, Naomi, stencils are still one of my favorites as well. Oh, thank you, Ria. It's still really hard. It was my dad's birthday on the 1st of August, so that was hard. And then Saturday, we celebrated my mum and my dad's, it should have been their 45th wedding anniversary. So it's been really hard, but we're like a really close family, and that's helped us get through everything. So there we go. Thank you for sharing. Becky, do I make my own envelopes? No, I don't. So I love making cards, but I usually make more layouts. So when I make my cards, I don't make the envelopes. And usually with my cards, I kind of hand share them. So I don't send so many cards. That's why when I make them, I kind of let things hang over the edges and everything. So there we go. Yes, stencils and embossing folders. I think that's the greatest invention. It's got all of my things. You've got that color, and then you've got all that dimension. So there we go. Oh, Becky, too bad they don't make a punch out instead of cutting it out. Yeah, I know. Maybe that's an idea we could kind of look into. So I just wanted to show you how this looks on that gold background. So here we've got it on a white, and it's really pretty, but just look how that looks on that gold. And what I love about it is, even though it covers quite a lot of that texture, our second card will cover a little bit less. You can still see that lovely texture peeking out, and I think just adds that little bit of glamour. It makes it a really sumptuous card. So there we go. I'm going to try and adhere this onto my card. Now, this is my card base. So I'll probably put it on a flat base afterwards. The problem is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's really textured. So it's really hard to stick anything on there. Oh, I've got the phone that is ringing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Altenew foam tape, because that will just make it a lot easier than just some glue that you would stick, or I usually use tape roller. So with a tape roller, that wouldn't adhere at all. So foam tape is the way to go. So I'm going to be using the Altenew foam tape here. There we go. So my roll is still going strong, so it goes a long, 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 long way. Yeah, I know. I could use a larger envelope. I know where we are, you've got like standard envelopes, and if you use like sizes which are maybe a little bit larger, but then you have to pay more for the stamps. And stamps are crazy expensive here now. It's like more than €1 for one stamp, which I think is a lot. So there we go. I'm just going to pop that on there, and you will see with the foam tape, oh, it really sticks really, really well. I know, Vicky, I love the coordinating stencils with the embossing folders, and even with the stamps, because sometimes they're kind of, oh, I'm so afraid to do the layering with the stamps. So I love the stencils because they're really easy to do. And the stencils I can easily use on a large layout as well, which I think is amazing. Yeah, the foam rolls last a long, long time. Yeah, shaker cards, you do need a lot more, I think. So popped it on there. I could have probably just used one, but I do like the two just to make sure that's nice and secure. So you could leave it at that, but I thought it would be nice just to add a little bit more dimension. So let's just go a little bit crazy. And I'm going to add some of my African daisy flowers here. But I'm going to keep them really simple. So I'm not going to do the centerpieces. I'm just going to create, because I'm just going to show you, they are a bit larger. So I might just do, let me just have a look. I think, oh, I can do a small one and a large one, can't I? Okay, let's just do that. Let's just pull them out. So I'm just going to do the two flowers just to see how they look. Whoops. There we go. So for this one, you need 3 colors. So here I'm just using what I have got from my cardstock. So these are our 3x6 cardstock, colored cardstock. But what I'm doing more and more now is I'm using my inks, and I'm just inking up paper and then using those. Ooh, the marble washi tape is amazing. There we go. So I'm going to start off with the first 2 layers. So if you can see, these are the base layers. It's like with the stamp, the base layers, and then you're going to go into more detail. But I'm going to start with light to dark. You can do whatever you want here. I'm going to go light to dark, just because I want to keep it kind of dark, because the colors are really rich. There we go. So I'm just going to pop on a little bit of my tape. There we go. Just to keep, oh, that moved. Keep everything in place. And because we're with the smaller ones, I'll probably just use my mini embossing, my mini Altenew embossing tool. Ooh, I'm wearing shorts on my stool, and my legs got cut into it. Oh, that hurts. Okay, let's go. So let's just get my plates out. Okay. I'm just going to roll them through the machine. There we go. Make a little sandwich. Oh, I customized my... There we go. Oh, obsidian ink, great, favorite of mine. Look, it's on the desk here. It never leaves my desk. So there we go. One. Cool. There we go. Let's just put those to one side. And then we're going to go with the next one. So these are pretty easy because you can see they go like, these are the smallest or the finest. These are a little bit more detailed or less detailed, and then you've got the really big ones. And you can just use them on their own as well. I've already done that. If you want to go for more like a cartoony look or a doodled look, I would just use this, so the base layer, and then take a pen and just doodle around the edges. I love doing that. There we go, little mini blossom. So these are quite big dies, so I'm not using, I should have closed my mouth because maybe I should have used the metal ship. Shitty me. There we go. Let's just get it through there again. That happens all the time. I don't know. I think, oh, I can get away without the metal shim. And then I die cut, and then it doesn't work. Like here. Good thing is that I did put my tape on there, so I could just like run it through again. And then we've got our last one, which is going to be the more detailed image. Look, my blouse is matching my cardstock. There we go. Yep. Close that again. And a little tip. When you are using your three elements here, so you've got your A plate, B plate, and then the metal shim, what I usually do is I place my paper and I leave a little border here on my first plate. I place the metal shim on top, and then I'm going to place my second plate, line it up with the first plate, and then here you can see when I sandwich it together, it's going to be a little less thick and it's going to be a lot easier to push through. If you put everything right at the top where you are putting it through your embossing machine, it sometimes gets stuck. It's a little bit hard to get through. So I've got this technique where I push it up against my tummy and then kind of, but this is really a great way of getting it through without too many issues. There we go. So here we've got our little smaller ones. So they do have centers. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to cheat. So there we go. Put that on one side. Yes, I have. And isn't that such a great thing? So you've got our newest craft of flower dies. I don't have any to show you here just now, but what they have done Altenew, and I think it's genius, is that you will have like a little symbol that will be cut out. Sometimes it's like a little keyhole or a little cross, and then you can just line them up so easily. It's really a great way of lining them up. Some dies are really easy to line up, others are a little bit more tricky, and I think adding those little symbols, as Reina said, it's night and day. It makes it so easy. So let's start building our little flowers. So I've got my little guide next to me. These should be pretty easy to do. So I've got those two, and then this one is going to go on top of that. This one is really easy. So there we go. I'm already going to start gluing it down. So these are a little bit, well, why don't you want to come? My glue is playing tricks with me again. Okay, let's just see why it's doing this. I always forget to use my double-sided sticky tape. Thank you for sharing, Stacy. And then I'm just going to pop my middle one on here too. There we go. I think I'm doing this wrong. Let's just have a look. No, that was right. I don't think there's any wrong or right way to layer these. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to go with that. Easy. Oh, I don't have any Altenew glue, and I wanted to buy some, and there wasn't any left. And now I've got this one, and I don't like it. So I'm going to pop it on like that, and then dip this one on as well. There we go. And just to make it super duper easy for myself and not to cut out the tiny little pieces, I am just going to take some enamel dots, and I'm going to go with the pocket full of sunshine ones and just plop them in the middle. Let's go. Jump. And there we go. Easy peasy. Yellow. Oh, Lynn, I've missed you too. Oh, there we go. So I've got my two little flowers. See, I wanted to add that, but I think it's too much. So I'm not going to add them. We made them anyway, but let's not add them. Let's just add a sentiment. So I'm going to use the Meadows Reflection one. There we go. Let's just pop that in there. And I'm going to make it really super duper easy. I just need some white cardstock. There we go. And let's just choose one. Today, be simply grateful. And the day with a clean heart. We want to self-care, reflect. Okay. I'm going to use this one, which says, the only time you should ever look back is to see how far you've come. And I totally agree with that. So I'm just going to pop that onto an acrylic block. I'm going to use my exceptionally crisp obsidian pigment ink. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to pop it on my cardstock. There we go. Clean it up. There we go. So I'm always using my little microfiber cloth. So now I pop it onto a magnetic clip, and I clip it onto a little container which is hanging beside me. That way I never lose it. It kind of gets lost all the time. There we go. Scissors. So, okay, so I don't cut this out with my tool, with my cutter. I just go with my scissors once again. I'm lazy like that. And I always do this. This is my go-to thing. I'm going to add some lines around the edges. It's kind of to hide my wonky edges because I cut it with my scissors. There we go. And once again, I'm just going to take some foam tape. There we go. Oh, I forgot how hot it gets under my lamps here. Boiling. I'm going to put it in the middle. There we go. One card done. See, I thought I wanted to add some of these, but it would have just been a little bit too much. There we go. I might add it with my little leaves. So there we go. First card done. So see how easy it is? You just kind of take a pretty kind of brushed paper, and we've got lots of colors. I might just show you those before we start working on our next oh, I just pricked myself. Okay. So we've got, this one is the silver, and then we've got the copper, which is wonderful as well. And then we've got this brushed rose. And it's hard to see on the screen, isn't it? Oh, God. They're a lot prettier in real life, I tell you. If you've got the opportunity to get them, get them. So here we've got our lovely gold background. So I might maybe just use the rose. I think that would work really well with the colors we created earlier on. So I'm just going to take that one out. There we go. Let's just go here. Checking the time. I'm right on schedule. There we go. So this one is brushed rose. So once again, I'm going to cut this to size. Whoops. And this time I might just wet the back of it just to see if that helps with the embossing a little bit. Oh, this one is so pretty. Oh, I love it. There we go. That's why I love doing YouTube and Facebook Lives. I always use products that I forget that I have. So let's get our embossing out. Oh God, that machine is heavy. And I need my my embossing folder. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's hiding. So once again, I'm just going to pop this onto my embossing folder. Oh, come on. It doesn't want to open. There we go. There it is. Okay, let's just put the tool out of the way. Okay. So what I might do is I might just add a little bit of water to the back of this. Let's just spray it. Just to see if it might help with not breaking the paper while it's embossing, which I did have a little bit with the gold. There we go. Oh, it would be lovely as a frame on a layout. Let's just do this. Let's just put those on top. Oh, that does help. Okay. I always forget to do that. So here you can see the brushed rose. So pretty. I think I'm going to be doing this a lot. And adding a little bit of, spritzing a bit of water on the back will ensure that it doesn't break as much. So I don't know if you can see it, but some of the elements here, you can see the white underneath, and here I can't see it at all. So just adding that little bit of water will help when you're embossing it. So pretty. So let me check. Oh, that's all dry now. Have a look at that. So there we go. And we're going to use this now, and we're going to cut out some of the leaves, which I showed you earlier. I'm just going to pull out my, oh, there it is. So I created my own little sleeves here. So this is the Just Leaves die set. I love this set. I've used this so many times. Thank you for sharing. So let me just check. Is this going to go through my die cut machine, or do I have to kind of make it a little bit smaller? Okay, let's just cut off a teeny tiny bit here. There we go. So I like using the smaller ones. So let me just pop them like there. Let me get some more out. Oh, Nancy, I know vellum sometimes. I have noticed that with vellum, I usually take some thicker vellum as well. And I take a layer out of the sandwich of my machine. It's got like a thin layer on there. If I take that one out, I can emboss on vellum. It's a little bit easier. So there we go. I'm going to use those for the chunkier ones. There we go. So let me just sandwich this. So I don't have a metal shim for this one, and I'm always afraid it won't emboss correctly. So what I usually do is I take a piece of scrap paper, like so. This is a piece of scrap paper. And I kind of just place it on there, and then I push it through, and that's just going to add a little bit more pressure, especially because my watercolor paper is thicker. And that way I'm sure, almost sure, that my leaves will come out nicely. There we go. Okay, fingers crossed. Leaves are going to come out nicely. Yeah, look at yours leaves. Look at the leaves. I mean, this set, I've used it for everything. You can go dark green leaves or light green leaves for spring. And look, you can make something autumny with that. Look at those leaves. Aren't they pretty? It's such an easy way. And this is also a great way to make colored cardstock. Just use your watercolors and you get this kind of wishy-washy effect. I think it's just pretty amazing. So we've got our little leaves over there. I thought that would work well with this color. It's very autumny to me. There we go. Oh, look at those. Aren't they pretty? Thank you for sharing, Susan. So I'll probably put them a little bit like this. And then I'll put my sentiment on top. So I'm just going to stamp my sentiment again. That way I've got that ready. Let's use another one. And I can see myself doing this with the leaves and then going with like green and blues and they mix together and make kind of lovely teals and turquoises and things like that. Or you go with like a reds and purples. That would look nice going as well. So let's go okay. Which one am I going to go with? Let's spread kindness. I don't know. Allow yourself some kindness. Okay. I love sending people cards where I encourage them to be kind to themselves. Because I love being kind to other people, and then sometimes I'm horrible with myself. Here we go. And it's strange, but in real, this is giving me so many autumn or fall vibes. Allow yourself some kindness. There we go. Oh, that one didn't stamp very well. Let's do that again. Okay, that's good. I know, Stacey, aren't the colors beautiful? And sometimes you put them on the cardstock and you're going, oh, that doesn't look too nice because the colors didn't mix all too well, or it's a bit blotchy. And then you cut out your shapes and they look amazing. There we go. And what I love about watercoloring and doing this is that you never get the same effect. Never, ever, ever. It's always a little bit different. So let's do this again with the scissors. This one is really wonky. Whoop. Okay, let's add the doodled edges just to kind of clean up. Hello, April. Long time no see. Yes, it's been a while. I kind of had to take some time for myself and my family. My husband's waving hello as well. Oh, Susan, what watercolors are you using? Because I think I have noticed that if I want to get these really vibrant colors, I kind of go for the Altenew watercolor brush markers. So they usually come out a lot more vibrant. Yeah, and I'm using one of the Altenew fine liner pens. I can't find my 02 or 01, so I'm just using the finest one, which is the 005. Okay, Everett says, hi, Mr. Lilith. His name is Michel, which is French for Michael. And he's waving again. He's being silly. He always laughs when I do Facebook Lives. He kind of he does funny faces and everything. I don't know if he understands everything I'm saying. He's not happy I'm talking about him. Okay, I'll stop. So I'm just using the Altenew foam tape and just cutting it up. And what I really like about this foam tape, when I cut it up, it doesn't seem to stick to my scissors like some other foam tape does. I don't know why. So I don't have to clean my scissors that often, which for me is great because I really don't like getting all the glue off my scissors. So there we go. Now I'm just going to pull off the backing from the tape and then just pop everything. Just take everything off before assembling the card. You've got a watercolor set. Do you know you can get vibrant looks with watercolor sets? I would just like go for as pigmented as you can. Does the paper make a difference? I don't know. Probably cheaper paper, you might, when it dries, the colors don't blend as nicely. I have noticed that. But in vibrancy, I don't know. I have noticed that if I want really vibrant colors, I do tend to go for the watercolor brush markers a lot more. But if you've got a watercolor pan set, you can also get really vibrant colors. Just when you add your water to your colors, try to add as little water as possible, or try to, when you're adding the water, to get as much pigment in there as possible. And then what I usually do is I transfer it to maybe a mixing palette or something like that. And I just add as much color as I can just to make sure that it's nice and vibrant. Okay, I'm going to try and pull this one off because that one I didn't want to put over there. There we go. I'm going to put this larger one up here. Like so. And then my sentiment. And sometimes with watercolors, you just have to play around with them. And then sometimes you can get that color you really like. About in the middle. There we go. I'm just going to add these on the bottom. There we go. So really, really simple. I didn't even use my daisies. Maybe I could just use them on a silver card. There we go. Do I still have a little bit of time? Yeah. Let's just quickly get some silver. That way I would have used all three. What I have noticed with watercolors, Susan, is that I did have to practice. Even with the pans, when I get a new pan, I need to kind of fiddle around. So I just take like two types of watercolor paper, which I have, and then I just play around with the colors, see the consistency when I add water, how much water, the vibrancy. Like I think it's really a really good idea. I haven't swatched, for example, my inks, but I do swatch all my watercolors. I think just because there is so much more, it varies so much depending on the water you're using, how much water you're using, the colors you are using, the type of watercolors you are using. So I just usually take out my watercolors, take a scrap piece of paper and just play with it and just see how they look. So I'm just going to run this once again through my machine with the embossing folder. And once again, I'm going to wet it because it does help with the embossing. Make sure that the paper doesn't crack. There we go. Yep. Just get that nice and straight. Like so. Let's run it through the machine again. Whoops. There we go. There we go. So let's see the silver now. That way I got to test out all three. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I can't wait to test this with other embossing folders. And my flowers are going to look so pretty on it. It's going to be perfect. There we go. So I'm just going to pop those down. Didn't plan on making 3 cards, but now I've got 3. Yay! 1, 2, and I'm just going to take one of my dies here, maybe 2. These 2 are fine. And I'm going to just take some white cardstock. I'm just going to cut them out of the white cardstock. Just to add that little bit of, let's just pop it over there. There we go. Leave it a little. Oops, sorry. There we go. I could have used my smaller tool for this one. Silly me. So I just wanted to add a little bit of leaves. Okay. Good. I think white will work well with the silver. So let's just pop down my little daisies. I love the look of these on the silver. They're so pretty. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I need some foam tape again. There we go. I was thinking if Altenew could come out with like little foamy squares or foamy circles, and I wouldn't have to cut all of these up. There we go. There. No. And then all I need to do was add a sentence, but I'm going to do that now. 3 cards with our lovely cardstock. Look at that, the brushed cardstock. I am in love. There we go. And I love how different the colors look. I mean, you've got 3 colors of cardstock, and instantly it kind of changes the whole vibe of your card. There we go. Yeah, silver would be great. I think that would look really good with some deep greens or reds. There we go. I'm so happy I pulled this out. So I don't plan my lives a lot in advance. I kind of rummage through my stuff. Oh, I haven't used that yet. So it's kind of a gamble when I come on here. Sometimes it works. Sometimes there's a disaster, but there we go. 3 cards. And first I just wanted to go with the gold, but I did use the rose, the brushed rose, and also the brushed silver. And if you haven't got them, go and check them out, because I think they are really fabulous addition to your like basic supplies, because they are so versatile. You could also use some of our words, our fancy words, and just cut them out. Super duper easy to add like a little touch of gold or silver, this lovely color as well. So really, 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 a really fabulous product. There we go. So let me just change my screen again. I'm sweating underneath all my lights here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. That was a little crafting session with me today. So I'm just going to hold up the cards to the camera like this. They can see them. Look at them, all pretty. I love this gold one. Nice and shiny. Lots of dimension. I will probably just pop this onto a card base, which is flat. There we go. So pretty. And so you can see this one was really, really easy and simple. Just by cutting out some paper, you get this really fun design. And then here we created some fun orange red leaves using the Just Leaves die sets and some watercolor brush markers, and then the rose, the brushed rose paper. And here what I did do was I spritzed some water on the back so that it wouldn't break up as much as the gold, and I would advise you to do that as well. And then here we've got the little silver. I love this one. Giving me a bit of disco vibes. There we go. I think my favorite is this one, the rose and the fun leaves. I think this is just really pretty and warm, and it just, they go well together. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've been inspired to craft a little bit, maybe to buy some new products, or just to maybe get out something you haven't used as much as you would have liked to, and just get crafting again. Oh, thank you. I'm not that creative. Sometimes when I watch the other DT members, I go, wow. I just like playing around, and I like to make it fun. And I had a lot of fun today. I got to try out some projects with that which I haven't used. The brushed paper came just in that period when my dad died. So there are a lot of products which I didn't get to using. So I'm going to try and use them now and make some like nice scrapbooks and also some nice cards to give to family and friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will be picking a lucky winner from all of those who have shared. If I've missed any of your questions, I'm so sorry. I hope somebody was able to answer them anyway. And I hope you have a lovely week, and see you very, very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.